Allow me to extend a warm welcome to all the viewers on the internet and around the world. It is sunrise on YouTube, morning on Facebook, noon on Twitter, midday on Threads, afternoon on Twitch, sunset on Instagram, and evening on Rumble. I am your host, the Ancient One, the Bachelor Supreme, the Phantom Menace, he who remains, and the master of the deceptive arts. We are broadcasting live directly from the sanctum of solitude and the citadel at the end of time. Hello everyone, it's the Ancient One here, the Bachelor Supreme. I'm back here with another video, and today I want to talk about why simping is a mental illness. I was thinking about making these introductions a little bit more, exciting, a little bit more animated, like I see a lot of content creators do, but it's just not really who I am. And I suppose if you really want excitement, you could go watch a cat play a piano, but we're not doing that. So let's get right into it, right? Simping is a mental disease, right? It's an illness, and this is a point that I intend to prove throughout this video. By starting and talking about the emotion called love. What is love exactly, right? So I try to be practical and as honest as I can be and straightforward as I can be in defining things so that we can all work with a sort of unified definition, one definition of things. Simping, is an act of its own where one bestows, favors, finances, time, resources onto a counterpart, whether that counterpart is deemed worthy or not. It's not for me to decide. Beauty is indeed in the eye of the beholder. But when somebody talks about the emotion of love, and I had a conversation about this a few days ago, and I suppose that's why it's in the forefront of my mind. But what is love? Effectively, love is a chemical reaction that is happening in your brain. And when this chemical reaction happens, it clouds your judgment and makes you believe unbelievable things, just the most unfathomable things. And an example that I give, and I gave a young man this example about the madness of love, this drug. Effectively, it works the same way as a drug. You experience it, it clouds your judgment, makes you believe unbelievable things, right? So I asked this young man, I said to him, if your wife needed a place to stay, like a home, would you give her a home? He said, undoubtedly, absolutely, yes. I said, fantastic. And then I asked him, what if she needed a car to travel to work and to other places? Would you organize a car? Would you get her a car? He said, absolutely, 100%. I said, well, what if she needed clothes? Would you buy her clothes, or would you give her money to buy clothes if she wanted it? He said, yes, absolutely. And the list went on. It was medical, entertainment, internet, devices, electronics, anything she needed, he said he would provide. Then I asked him the question, what is your wife's name? And he froze. And he looked at me like I was insane. I said, what's your wife's name? And he said, I don't have a wife. Right? And I said, this is exactly the point. You are not married. You are not engaged. You don't even have a girlfriend. And here you are, ready to give up every single thing that you own, your current income, your future income, any promotions you might get, any investments you might make that might turn out great. You're already ready to give all of that up for a person that you don't even know. And this is where I think a lot of modern men are. They are drugged up. They are high on the drug called love. And for that drug, they are willing to do anything for a person, quite frankly, that doesn't even exist. This is mental illness. This is madness. This is the height of madness. And when you have it preconceived in your mind how things are going to be in the future and the sacrifice that you're already ready to make, anyone, and I mean absolutely anyone, who walks into that role will receive everything that you have. And it is predetermined in your mind before the relationship even starts, before you're even in that situation. This is madness. This is absolute madness. The madness is then extended when you are in a relationship. The extent to which men go to destroy their finances in order to receive favor, to fuel this drug called love, and thereby make themselves into Sims is astronomical. I mean, you go from being a bachelor, saving 90% of your salary, 80% of your salary, and being able to live successfully in a modest home, drive a modest, functional, reliable car, to be comfortable in your dwellings and have all the things that you need, and you give that up to buy some 5, 6, 7, 8 bedroom mansion with an enormous amount of yard that you can't even sustain, that you don't even need, and you're doing it to impress a counterpart that in a matter of years is just going to take that away from you and leave you with nothing. Now, this might sound like a pessimist point of view, but in a previous video, I discussed that, it's year on year, 50%. Half the people married this year won't be married next year. Just think about that. Half the people that are married in 2026 will not be married in 2027. And anyone that's getting married in 2026 will not be married by, at least by 75%, won't be married in 10 years, 2036. So we know your marriage is going to fail. You're just over investing into something, a failed endeavor, a provably failed endeavor. It is not pessimistic to say that if you drive drunk, you're going to crash your car. It's not pessimistic to say that if you have sexual relations with someone, if you have intimacy with someone, you're going to get them pregnant. It is also not pessimistic to say that your marriage is going to fail. Knowing this information, knowing the high chance of failure in this institution, and men are still going into this. You're still going into this with your eyes wide open. You're going into this unprotected. You're not getting your vasectomy. Guys, go and get your vasectomy. I'm never going to go stop into this. And then in a few years later, you're completely destroyed. You're desolate. Financially, it's just you're bleeding money. You're just bleeding money non-stop, and your responsibilities are higher than ever. And this information keeps being provided day after day after day. And men keep hearing this information, women keep hearing this information, and they keep ignoring it. Now, it's either hopefulness, or you're just being stubborn, or you are suffering from mental illness. Granted, all men have sinned, and all men will simp again. For many men, simping is a legitimate mating strategy, right? Simping for men, or for women rather, when a man simps on them, to me, has the same effect as if a woman was wearing a mini skirt, right? It's blatant, it's obvious, and it achieves the goal. You know, you're wearing a mini skirt, you want to look attractive, you want to look sexy, you want to get attention, and you're going to get it. And women know this. They know that every time they wear that mini skirt, inevitably they will get some type of attention. Men know the same thing. We know that enough simping or enough what they call love bombing will eventually win a woman's favor. It always does, right? And in a relationship where a man is not performing these acts of simping, that man is either deemed abusive, that relationship is going to be deemed a failure, and you're going to, as a man, it's going to be like you are not playing your part. You're not playing your part effectively. So every man has sinned. Every man has the capacity to do so. It's a performance that we practice our entire lives, right? And we can turn it all the way up high or bring it all the way down low or not participate in it at all. Simping is a great form of manipulation, right? It's women have their own manipulative tactics, and men do too. Men are very manipulative, right? And but it goes beyond that, right? It goes to a point where now you are not just doing the actions of simping, of a simp. You now become the simp. You become the personality. You become the character. You believe your own manipulation. And you extend that manipulation beyond mere simple gestures like flowers and chocolates, and you go to buying cars, hundreds of thousands worth of cars, hundreds of thousands worth of real estate, millions worth of real estate sometimes, trips. I'm not going to stop with the trips. Guys, do you know how expensive travel is? Traveling is an extremely expensive endeavor, and it is spoken about so lightly. And I've done a fair bit of travel myself, but to travel by your own is still extraordinarily expensive. Flight tickets overseas are expensive, visas are not free, hotels are very expensive, and you don't want to be going to a country that you don't know, to a place that you don't know, and stay in a place that is not going to be comfortable. So you're going to pay. You don't have all the things that you need to have you comfortable like you would at home, so you need to be buying extra things. And don't forget something important like an Apple charger. Then you got to go buy a new Apple charger. You know how expensive Apple chargers are compared to other like ordinary charges. All these things cost money. And we live in an economic world. And simping has an economic toll to it, right? There is a point where your simping goes beyond your capacity to afford it. And it is at that point where your simping goes over your capacity to maintain or to contain it and to afford it. And you keep going more. You start taking out loans. You're using credit card to pay for what do they call these things on the water? Not tours. I just lost my train of thought. But these extraordinary trips, right? These extraordinary trips, you're spending so much money to prove your affection, right? And it's just unnecessary, right? To a certain point, it is unnecessary. It is unnecessary for you to meet somebody while you are poor and broke and have that person be attracted to you just for you to lose them later when you are wealthier and have assets, right? So the actions and the acts of simping themselves are purely psychological, right? A man is not naturally a simp. And what do I mean by that? Is that unless I'm in a relationship, I'm not going to be buying flowers for a random woman, right? Unless I'm interested in that person, I will not be bestowing gifts on them. I don't go around spending money on every woman I see, right? There's billions of women on the planet. You'll be broke in less than an hour, right? So you are now investing your resources into someone. But looking at these statistics, knowing that these relationships are going to fail and that simping is only part of the relationship song and dance, doesn't it stand to reason that you would limit the extent of your simping and expenditure? You wouldn't extend it to the point of where you are now desolate, homeless, financially distraught, can't see your kids, you know. And men will continue to simp themselves into a catastrophic situation. And one of those actions that men do right at the top of the list is not getting that vasectomy. Even after you've heard me say it, you've seen posts of me saying, I put a post up every single day on Instagram and various other types of social medias, and it's the same thing every day. Get a vasectomy, get a vasectomy. And I noticed that no one is disagreeing with it. The famous feminists, those people that are all talking about female contraception, nobody is going to come out and tell you to not get a vasectomy. But at the same time, they are not promoting it either. They're just ignoring the issue completely. Why? Because they don't know how to deal with it. They don't have a strategy beyond this move. No one does. It's the ultimate move. It's the end game. Get your vasectomy, guys. Get your vasectomy. And I'll make these videos and I'll hope that somebody will watch them and they'll get the message and they'll go and get their vasectomy. All right? This vasectomy will protect you from what some have called the inner simp. Every man has a simp within them, and I've said it, we've all simped and will simp again. Every man has a simp within them. Every man will find a woman attractive enough to make you believe these impossible things. You will be drugged with the drug called love. You will have that sensation, that chemical reaction happening to you in your brain. And when that happens, the drug called love will take over, and the simp will be in the driver's seat. And that simp, your inner simp, will destroy your life because every decision they made will be made under the cloudy, hazy perspective of love. The drug called love, right? The chemical reaction that is happening in your brain. A further proof of this chemical reaction is that the love that you feel for your counterpart, only you feel that because only you are experiencing this chemical reaction. Nobody else sees it. You hear it all the time. People will ask you, what do you see in that person? What do you see in that counterpart? And you'll say, well, they're not like anybody I've ever met, when in truth, we are all a carbon copy of each other. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to exist as humanity, right? Every single child would be born with completely different features from the other one. And yet here we are, all born with exactly the same number of chromosomes, 10 fingers and 10 toes, 2 eyes in the same place, a mouth that never shuts up, and ears that don't listen, right? We are indeed human, all of us, and we're all the same, right? Fundamentally, we are all the same. And this is not to imply that your race, your gender, and all the classifications that make you a unique person are not valid. They are, right? But that uniqueness still exists inside of a human, right? Outside of that human, you're dead. This human body is who you are, and you are part of that human race. And as such, you do have built in you this chemical reaction that will activate the inner simp, and that inner simp will destroy your life. And you need to prevent that inner simp from doing that by getting a vasectomy. Because that simp is going to go on and have 3, 4 kids and then end up divorced, crying in the shower, wondering where it all fell apart. And it all fell apart when you did not get that vasectomy. You need to go get it, and you need to protect yourself. So for these reasons, I've come to a final deduction to say that simping is in fact a mental illness. And if you do see somebody simping, do not feel jealous of them. You see them holding hands, buying flowers. Just know that this person is having a tremendously profound chemical experience in their brain, and they are completely devoid of all logic. And any attempt to try and reason with this person could end in an extremely violent encounter, right? Men kill for the women they love, even though the woman has been, having extramarital relations, right? They will kill for their daughter, even though their daughter's rude and insufferable, right? They'll defend that. They'll defend any wrong that their counterpart does merely because they believe that counterpart can do no wrong. And these are the type of things that simping affects you with. It makes you this type of crazy person. You honestly believe that another human being is infallible. When you are under the spell of simping, when you are under this chemical reaction, you honestly believe that what that person is telling you is the honest, unvarnished truth. And it's not. It never is. Right? You believe that they can make no mistake and that they are always on your side. They will never disagree with you or dislike some aspect of you. That's impossible. Even your own parents find things that they don't like about you. Even your own family finds things that they don't like about you. Simping will make you believe that a complete stranger will love you beyond all comprehension. And that's just not healthy. It's mental illness. It's crazy. It's crazy to think like that. It's probably more logical to think that most people don't care about you or don't like you because they are more worried about their own interests and their own concerns and their own lives and their own bills and their own outcomes. For you to think that they would stop their existence to indulge in yours is absurd. Is absurd. Everybody wants what they want for themselves. And many people want to be loved. Many people want to be adored, and this is perfectly fine. But you also need to be okay with knowing that if they do, it won't be forever, and most people just don't care. And this is not a bad thing. This is not to imply that they are against you. It is to imply that they have their own issues that they need to grapple with. And you need to be respectful enough to let them have their time and their space. Simping will make you believe that that person should be with you all the time and you should be with them all the time. Completely irrational. It also makes you believe that while you are attracted to that person, that other people don't have the same right to be attracted to the same person. And that's absurd. That is absurd, right? And I know that once you are in a committed situation, you want that exclusivity. You want to be able to trust the person that you're with. And I'm not telling you not to. I'm just saying I don't. I don't trust people. I don't trust this emotion called love. And I don't trust the simp inside of me. Have I simped? Of course I have. And I've lived to regret it every single time. I notice there's a pattern between simping and catastrophe, simping and financial ruin, simping and destruction in your life, simping and fighting, simping and violence. These things all simping and drug addiction, simping and alcoholism, right? You have work in the morning, but here you are trying to impress a woman or a counterpart, drinking till the wee hours of the day. Right? till the wee hours of the night, and then you wake up, you're still drunk, you can't perform, and you realize, oh, let me just stay home. Now you've missed a day of work, your company's let down, your progress is falling behind, right? All because you spent all night trying to impress a counterpart, doing things that you shouldn't have been doing in the middle of the week. This happens all the time. This happens all the time. People travel to other countries just to meet someone they've been talking to on the phone, just for them to not share anything in common physically. It's absurd. The different ways and the different levels, and there's so many examples of simping, just indicate madness. Madness. And everywhere you go, wherever you see someone simping, you look behind them, it's destruction. And you look ahead of them, they are headed to destruction. One of those things that is causing that destruction is going to be sexual intimacy. With enough simping, you are probably going to get yourself into a situation where you bet a counterpart and get that person pregnant. And now you are ruined forever. As a bachelor, I do recommend that you limit your scope of simping. Have a budget even. Say to yourself, I decided that I would have a budget of 1%. 1% of my income up until a certain point will go to simping, because the inner simp inside of you is a powerful thing, and it's never gonna go away. The desire to be loved and adored is a powerful thing, and it's not gonna go away. So you need to get your vasectomy, again, to protect yourself from your own inclination. Not so much to protect you from other people. I'm going to protect you from the outcomes of your own inclinations, which will then involve other people and the destruction of their lives. So that's the end of the video. Before I run out of time, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And before I sign out, get a vasectomy. I'm not going to stop with this message. I'll be making these every day, hopefully. And it's always going to be the same message. Get a vasectomy. Protect yourself. Secure your bachelorhood. Secure your commitment. And stop the inner simp. Stop the inner simp from destroying your life. Thank you for your attention. Really appreciate it. Have a nice day.